This is a list of notable events in music that took place in the year 1994. Events January February January 19. Bryan Adams becomes the first major Western music star to perform in Vietnam since the end of the Vietnam War. January 25 Alice in Chains released their Jar of Flies album, which makes its US chart copyright but at number 1 on the Billboard 200, becoming the first ever EP to do so. January 29 The Supremes' Mary Wilson is injured when her Jeep hits a freeway median and flips over just outside of Los Angeles, USA. Wilson's 14-year-old son is killed in the accident. February 1 Green Day released their breakthrough album Dookie, ushering in the mid-1990s punk revival. Dookie eventually achieves diamond certification. February 7 Blind Melon's lead singer Shannon Hoon is forced to leave the American Music Awards ceremony because of his loud and disruptive behavior. Hoon is later charged with battery, assault, resisting arrest, and destroying a police station phone. February 11 The three surviving members of the Beatles secretly reunite to begin recording additional music for a few of John Lennon's old unfinished demos, presented to Paul McCartney by Yoko Ono, with Jeff Lynne producing. The track, Free as a Bird, is released as a single in late 1995 as part of the exhaustive Beatles anthology project, reaching number 2 in the UK and number 6 in the United States. February 14 The Grateful Dead's Jerry Garcia marries Deborah Coons. February 23 Eddie Van Halen, Chris Isaak, and B.B. King attend the groundbreaking ceremony for the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino takes place in Paradise, Nevada, USA. March April March 1, Selena becomes the first Tejano music singer to win a Grammy Award. Nirvana play their final concert, in Munich. Frank Sinatra receives the Grammy Legend Award. Sinatra's acceptance speech is cut short and other artists, upset by this action, criticize the producer's decision during the show, including Billy Joel, who takes extra time to perform his song, The River of Dreams, noting that he is wasting valuable airtime. March 3 in Rome, Nirvana's Kurt Cobain lapses into a coma after overdosing on Rohypnol and champagne. March 5 Grace Slick is arrested for pointing a shotgun at police in her Tiburon, California home. March 7 The United States Supreme Court decision Campbell v. Acuff Rose Music, Incorporated rules that parody can qualify as fair use. The case was spurred by two live crew releasing a parody of the Roy Orbison hit Oh, Pretty Woman without a license from the publishing firm Acuff Rose Music. March 13 Selena releases her final Spanish album Amor Prohibido. Its production had been delayed because of the launch of Selena's fashion clothing line and boutiques, and her extensive tour in support of Live. March 18 Courtney Love calls the police, fearing that her husband, Nirvana's Kurt Cobain, is suicidal. Police confiscate 4 guns and 25 boxes of ammo from Cobain's home. Bassist Darryl Jones replaces Bill Wyman in the Rolling Stones. March 30 Pink Floyd embark on what would be their last world tour before their breakup. The record-breaking tour supports their Division Bell album, with the band playing to 5,500,000 people in 68 cities and grossing over £150 million. March 31 Madonna on Late Show with David Letterman. Madonna appears on The Late Show with David Letterman, making headlines with her foul-mouthed, profanity-laced interview. Robin Williams later describes the segment as a battle of wits with an unnamed woman. April 8 The body of Kurt Cobain, lead singer of Nirvana, is found. Cobain's death, 3 days before, is legally declared to be suicide from a self-inflicted gunshot. April 25, Blur releases Park Life, its first album reaching number 1 in UK, where it was certified quadruple platinum. Adam Horovitz of the Beastie Boys is sentenced to 200 hours of community service for attacking a television cameraman during funeral services for actor River Phoenix in November 1993. April 26, Grace Slick pleads guilty to having pointed a shotgun at police officers on March 5. April 27, the legendary Fillmore Club reopens in San Francisco with a concert headlined by the Smashing Pumpkins. June May 2nd, a Los Angeles jury finds Michael Bolton, along with co-writer Andy Goldmark and Sony Music Entertainment, guilty of copyright infringement over the song Love Is a Wonderful Thing. The song is ruled to be too similar to a song of the same name by the Isley Brothers. May 3rd, the Rolling Stones arrive by yacht to a press conference in New York City to announce the Voodoo Lounge tour kicking off in the summer. May 6, Pearl Jam files a complaint against Ticketmaster with the U.S. Justice Department charging that the company has a monopoly on the concert ticket business. To help promote his new album, Alice Cooper releases a 3-part comic book that followed the album The Last Temptation. May 9 May 13 1994 International Rostrum of Composers, May 10, Tupac Shakur begins serving a 15-day sentence in a county jail for attacking director Alan Hughes on the set of a video shoot. Weezer are introduced to the world with their self-titled debut, often referred to as the Blue Album. It would go on to become one of the most influential records of the 1990s, spanning hits Undone, The Sweater Song, Buddy Holly, and Say It Ain't So. May 26, Michael Jackson and Lisa Marie Presley are married in the Dominican Republic. May 27, the Eagles launch the Hell Freezes Over tour in Burbank, California. The reunion tour is the group's first since breaking up in 1980, but much is also made of the band becoming the first to charge over $100 per ticket for arena shows. June 7 Grace Slick is sentenced to 200 hours of community service and 3 months' worth of Alcoholics Anonymous meetings after a March 5 incident with police officers. June 9, Lisa Left Eye Lopes of TLC, in a domestic dispute with partner Andre Rison, sets fire to his shoes. The fire ultimately spreads to the mansion they share and destroys it. June 21, George Michael loses his legal bid to be released from his contract with Sony Records in a London court. June 27, Aerosmith becomes the first major band to premiere a new song on the Internet. Over 10,000 CompuServe subscribers download the free track Head First within its first 8 days of availability. Julia August July 30, the Verbia Festival is launched. In keeping with the country's new constitution and the promotion of its native language, Moldova adopts Limba Nostra Florin as its new national anthem, replacing the anthem of Romania which was previously in use. Suede announced that guitarist Bernard Butler has left the band following fractious recording sessions for their album Dog Man Star. August 9, Rich Mullins and Leave a Legacy contest winner, 76-year-old Miguel Garcia Maciate, travel to Bogotá, Colombia with Compassion International. The two men visit the Ciudad Sucre Center where Mullins presented them with over $40,000 that was raised on his Summer '94 Ragamuffin Band tour. Decca releases a recording of the 1949 premiere of Benjamin Britten's Spring Symphony for the first time. Machine Head released their first album Burn My Eyes, which was a big success and becomes Roadrunner Records' best-selling debut album. August 12 Woodstock 94 is held in Saugerties, New York. As with the original 1969 festival, attendance is swelled by a high number of gate crashers, while heavy rains turn the festival grounds into a sea of mud. 9 Inch Nails, Metallica, Aerosmith, Bob Dylan, Crosby, Stills and Nash, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Peter Gabriel and Green Day are among the many performers. August 23 Jeff Buckley releases his single, critically acclaimed, full-length studio album Grace. August 30, Oasis release their debut album Definitely Maybe. It becomes the fastest-selling debut album in the United Kingdom at the time until 2006 when it was beaten by the Arctic Monkeys' debut album, Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not. Luis Miguel released Segundo Romance, the best-selling Latin album of the 1990s by a male artist. 4 singles from the album were released, 2 of which reached #1 on the top Latin songs. It received a Grammy Award and a Billboard Latin Music Award. September October September 6, José Copyright Cura wins the Operalia International Placido Domingo Opera Singer Competition, 1. Bad Religion released their 8th studio album Stranger Than Fiction. This proved to be the last to feature founding guitarist-songwriter Brett Gurewitz for 7 years, until his return. Gurewitz would be replaced by former Minor Threat/Dag Nasty/Junkyard guitarist Brian Baker, who turned down a touring job for R.E.M. at this time, and eventually becomes a permanent member of Bad Religion. September 8 Richard A. Morse, lead male vocalist of Ram, narrowly escapes a kidnapping by armed men during the band's live performance at the Hotel Olofsson in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. The attempted kidnapping was provoked by the performance of Far Why, a Ram single banned nationwide by the military authorities. September 15, a 1957 audio tape of John Lennon performing with the Quarrymen in the same night he met Paul McCartney fetches a £78,500 at a Sotheby's auction in London. October 11, Korn, a new metal band from Bakersfield, California, launches its self-titled debut album Korn, peaking at number 72 on the Billboard 200 and launching the new metal sound. October 12, Jimmy Page and Robert Plant, No Quarter premieres on MTV. The Unplugged concert special featuring the two former Led Zeppelin bandmates was filmed to accompany the release of the album of the same name. November December November 20, David Crosby undergoes a 7-hour liver transplant operation in Los Angeles. November 30, the Breeders' guitarist Kelly Deal is arrested at her Ohio home after accepting a private courier package containing 4 grams of heroin. December 2, Warner Music Group acquires a 49% share of Seattle record label Sub Pop in a deal believed to be worth over $30 million. December 18, Paul Oakenfold's legendary Goa mixes first broadcast in the early hours of this day as a BBC Radio 1 Essential Mix. December 19, Aerosmith opens the 250-seat Mama Kin Music Hall in Boston, co-owned by the group, with a performance. December 31, the 23rd annual New Year's Rockin' Eve special airs on ABC, with appearances by Melissa Etheridge, The Oasis, Salt-N-Pepa, Hootie and the Blowfish and John Secada. Also in 1994 Christoph von Dohnanyi becomes principal guest conductor of the Philharmonia Orchestra. Josip Pons becomes principal conductor of the City of Granada Orchestra. Christian Oldewalbers replaces Andrew Shives in Fear Factory. All part ways with their original home Cruise Records, and sign a recording contract with Interscope. The Offspring frontman Dexter Holland and bassist Greg Kreisel form the label Nitro Records, an incubator for successful punk artists such as AFI. The label later releases albums from classic punk bands, including The Damned and TSOL, and also reissues the first Offspring album. Social Distortion manager Jim Gorenot forms the label Time Bomb Recordings in joint venture agreement with Arista. The label actually exists mostly as an imprint for current releases from Social Distortion and solo albums by Mike Ness, along with the administration of the label's back catalog. Summer, Tony Wilson attempts to revive Factory Records, in collaboration with London Records, as Factory 2. Former Wolfsbane lead singer Blaze Bayley auditions and is hired by Iron Maiden. Bands formed, see musical groups established in 1994. Bands disbanded, see musical groups disestablished in 1994. Bands reformed, Circle Jerks, King Crimson. Albums released. January March April June July September October December release date unknown Biggest hit singles. The following songs achieved the highest chart positions in the charts of 1994. Top hits: 21st Century Bad Religion, 100% Pure Love Crystal Waters, About a Girl Nirvana, Absolutely Fabulous Pet Shop Boys, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number Aaliyah, All for Love Bryan Adams, Rod Stewart and Sting, All I Have to Do Is Dream Cliff Richard and Phil Everly, All I Wanna Do Sheryl Crow, All I Want for Christmas Is You Mariah Carey, All That She Wants Ace of Base, Al Palo King of Frika, Always Bon Jovi, Always Erasure, Amazing Aerosmith, Ama Prohibido Selena, An Angel the Kelly Family, Another Day, Wigfield, Another Night a Euro MC Czar and the Real McCoy, Anytime, Anyplace a Euro Janet Jackson, Anytime You Need a Friend Mariah Carey, Around the World East 17, Basket Case a Euro Green Day, Baby, Come Back Patro Banton and UB40, Back and Forth Aaliyah, Better Man a Euro Pearl Jam, Deep Deep Bomb Bomb Selena, Big Yellow Taxi a Euro Amy Grant, Black Hole Sun a Euro Soundgarden, Buddy Holly a Euro Weezer, Bump and Grinder Kelly, Can You Feel the Love Tonight? A Euro Elton John, Chains Tina Arena, Cigarettes and Alcohol, Oasis, Circle of Life a Euro Elton John, Come On You Reds the Manchester United football squad, Come Out and Play a Euro The Offspring, Corduroy a Euro Pearl Jam, Closer a Euro 9 Inch Nails, Confide in Me Kylie Minogue, Cotton Eye Joe, Rednecks, Crazy a Euro Aerosmith, CREAM Wu-Tang Clan, Creep a Euro TLC, Dedicated to the One I Love Bitty McLean, Deuces a Wild a Euro Aerosmith, Dimension Diverted a Paco Pill, Disarm the Smashing Pumpkins, Drummond Zidge Bedrock Marco Borsato, Don't Turn Around a Euro Ace of Base, Don't Choir a Chaos to Copyright S Barrio Boys and Selena, Doop Doop, Dreams the Cranberries, Dreams Two Brothers on the Fourth Floor, Dry County Bon Jovi, Ains, Zwei, Pose Mo Do, Endless Love Luther Vandross and Mariah Carey, Every Day a Euro Phil Collins, Everybody DJ Bobo, Everybody Gone We Gone 2 Cowboys, Everything Changes Take That, Fade Into You Mazzy Star, Fantastic Voyage Coolio, Feel the Heat of the Night Masterboy, Found Out About You a Euro Gin Blossoms, Vitos y Recuerdos Selena, Foul Sentimental Alan Suchan, Funk Defied a Euro Da Brat, Games People Play in a Circle, Gin and Juice a Euro Snoop Doggy Dogg, Girls and Boys a Euro Blur, Happy Nation Ace of Base, Here Comes the Hoot Stephanie Kamers, Hey Now, Girls Just Want to Have Fun Cyndi Lauper, Hyper Scooter, I Alone a Euro Live, I'll Make Love to You a Euro Boys Two Men, I'll Remember a Euro Madonna, I'll Stand By You The Pretenders, I Like to Move It a Euro Real Too Real, I Swear a Euro All For One, Infected a Euro Bad Religion, Inside Stillskin, Inside Your Dreams U96, Interstate Love Song a Euro Stone Temple Pilots. In Your Room Depeche Mode, I Show You Secrets Ferre, It's Alright a Euro East 17, It's a Rainy Day Ice MC, It's Take Me Away Marusha, I Wanna Be Down a Euro Brandy, J Dawn Slamia a Euro IAM, Jesse Joshua Caddison, Juicy a Euro Notorious B.I.G. La Solitude Laura Pausini, Lay Your Head on My Pillow a Euro Tony. Tone. Let the Dream Come True a Euro DJ Bobo, Let the Beat Control Your Body to Unlimited, Live Forever a Euro Oasis, Living in Danger Ace of Base, Longview a Euro Green Day, Look Who's Talking Dr. Alban, Loser a Euro Beck, Lost in America a Euro Alice Cooper, Love Ain't Here Anymore Take That, Love Is All Around Wet Wet Wet, Love Is Strong a Euro Rolling Stones, Love Religion U96, Love Song Marco, Lucky One a Euro Amy Grant, Ma Currency DCHEN Loose Electric, Mama Yo Choiro King of Frika, Mary Jane's Last Dance a Euro. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Max Don't Have Sex with Your Ex Erotic, Meet, The Flintstones The B-52s, Crash Test Dummies, Move On Baby Capella, Mr. Jones a Euro Counting Crows, Mass Appeal a Euro Gangster, Never Lie a Euro Immature, No Excuses a Euro Alice in Chains, No Good The Prodigy, No More Morksh, No Me Queda Más Selena, No One Too Unlimited, No One to Run with a Euro The Allman Brothers Band, Now and Forever Richard Marx, Omen 3 Magic Affair, On Bended Knee Boys 2 Men, Only One Road. Celine Dion, Over You Anne Murray, Penzo Positivo Giovanotti, Players Ball a Euro Outcast, Regulate a Euro Warren G featuring Nate Dogg, Return to Innocence a Euro Enigma, The Rhythm is Magic Belinda Carlisle, Right Beside You Sophie B. Hawkins, Rock My Heart Hardaway, Runaway, Real McCoy, Sabotage a Euro Beastie Boys, Saturday Night Wigfield, Say You'll Be Mine a Euro Amy Grant, Secret a Euro Madonna, Seether a Euro Veruca Salt, Self-Esteem a Euro The Offspring, Sensualita copyright a Euro XL red, set the world on fire E-Type, 7 seconds a Euro Nenny Cherry and Yassa. Andor, Shine Orsvad, Shine Collective Soul, Short Dick Man 20 Fingers and Gillette, Sleeping in My Car a Euro Roxt, Slow Wine a Euro Tony. Tony. Tone. Somewhere Over the Rainbow Marusha, Spin the Black Circle Pearl Jam, Spoonman Soundgarden, See Universe Selena, Stay a Euro Lisa Loeb, Stay Another Day East 17, Stay Together Suede, Strani Amri Laura Pausini, Streets of Philadelphia Bruce Springsteen, Strong Enough Sheryl Crow, The Sign a Euro Ace of Base, Sukiyaki 4 p.m. Summer in the City Joe Cocker, Supersonic a Euro Oasis, Sure Take That, Swamp Thing The Grid, Sweet Dreams La Bouche, Sweets for My Sweet CJ Lewis, Take a Bow a Euro Madonna, Take Control DJ Bobo, Tears Don't Lie Marco, Techno Cumbia Selena, Tell Me When Rick Astley, There Is a Star Ferre, The Most Beautiful Girl in the World Prince, The Real Thing, Too Unlimited, The Real Thing Tony D. Bart, Things Can Only Get Better D. Reem, Think About the Way Ice MC, Think Twice Celine Dion, This DJ Warren G, This Is the Way E. Type, Thuggish Ruggish Bone a Euro Bone Thugs in Harmony, Tootsie Roll a Euro 69 Boys, Trouble a Euro Shampoo, Turn the Beat Around Gloria Estefan, Twist and Shout Cherka Demison Pliers, You Send Me Swingin' a Euro Min Condition, Undone, The Sweater Song a Euro Weezer, United Prince Little Joe and Marky Mark, Until I Fall Away a Euro Gin Blossoms, What's My Name Snoop Doggy Dogg, Welcome to Paradise a Euro Green Day, Welcome to Tomorrow Snap. What a Man's Salt and Pepper and En Vogue, What Would You Say a Euro Dave Matthews Band, When I Come Around a Euro Green Day, Wild Night John Mellencamp and Michelle Ndigio Without You a Euro Mariah Carey, You Want This a Euro Janet Jackson, Zombie the Cranberries. Top 10 Best Albums of the Year, all albums have been named Albums of the Year for their hits in the charts. Jeff Buckley, Grace, Oasis, Definitely Maybe, Weezer, Portishead, Dummy, Nirvana, MTV Unplugged in New York, Green Day, Dookie, Nas, Elmatic, Blur, Parklife, Soundgarden, Superunknown, Nine Inch Nails, The Downward Spiral. Classical Music, Thomas Beveridge a Euro Ice Requiem, George Crumb a Euro Quest for guitar, soprano saxophone, harp, double bass, and percussion, Richard Danielpour a Euro Cello Concerto, Mario Davidovsky a Euro Festino for guitar, viola, violoncello, contrabass, David Diamond a Euro Trio for violin, clarinet and piano, Lorenzo Ferrero, Paesagio Configura for small orchestra, Portrait for string quartet. Osvaldo Golojov, The Dreams and Prayers of Isaac the Blind, Van Hombo a Euro Symphony No. 13, M362, Carl Jenkins a Euro Ademus, Songs of Sanctuary, Oliver Nussin a Euro Horn Concerto, Gyal Paragraph a G.Y. Kurtagy a Euro Steel, Frederick Magel a Euro Concerto for Organ and Orchestra The Infinite Second, Tristan Muriel a Euro L'Esprit des Dunes, Michael Nyman a Euro Concerto for Trombone, Aina Johanni Rauteva a Euro Symphony No. 7 Angel of Light, Steve Reich a Euro City Life. Nagoya Marimbas, Robert Simpson a Euro String Quintet No. 2, Karl-Heinz Stockhausen a Euro Weltrum, Boris Tishchenko a Euro Symphony No. 7. Opera, Peter Maxwell Davis, The Doctor of Mid-Fae, Vivian Fine a Euro Memoirs of Oleana Rooney, Adam Guettel a Euro Floyd Collins, Nicholas Lenz a Euro The Acacia Chronicles Trilogy, Flamma Flamma a Euro The Fire Requiem, Tobias Picker, M-Line, with a libretto by J.D. McClatchy. Karl-Heinz Stockhausen a Euro Freitag Licht. Musical theatre, Beauty and the Beast a Euro Broadway production, Carousel a Euro Broadway revival, Damn Yankees a Euro Broadway revival, Grease a Euro Broadway revival, Showboat a Euro Broadway revival, Sunset Boulevard a Euro Broadway production. Musical films, Airheads, Backbeat, Fear of a Black Hat, Hated, G.G. Allin and the Murder Junkies, The Lion King a Euro animated feature film with songs by Elton John and Tim Rice, That's Entertainment. 3. Births, February 1, Skylar Lane, American singer-songwriter, Harry Styles, British singer of the band One Direction. February 8 Nikki Yanofsky, Canadian singer. February 14 Paul Butcher, American actor and singer. February 17 Angie Miller, American singer-songwriter and pianist. February 24 Earl Sweatshirt, American rapper. March 1 Justin Bieber, Canadian singer. April 4 Risako Sugaya, Japanese singer. April 12 Eri Suzuki, Japanese singer. July 7 Ashton Irwin, Australian drummer and singer of the band 5 Seconds of Summer. August 18 Bobby Andin, Australian singer-songwriter and actor. September 1 Bianca Ryan, American singer. September 17 Taylor Ware, American singer and yodeler. Chen Ian, Chinese pianist and composer. Deaths: January 6 Harold Sumberg, violinist. January 15 88 Harry Nilsson, singer, songwriter. January 17 52 Georges Schiffer, pianist. January 30 72 Rudolf Schwartz, conductor. February 5 88 Diana Lemnitz, operatic soprano. February 7 96 Witold Lutozarski, composer. February 8 81 Raymond Scott, composer and band leader. February 22 85 Papa John Creech, blues violinist. February 24 76 Dinah Shaw, singer, actress. March 6 77 Yvonne Fair, African-American singer. March 13 51 Danny Barker, jazz musician and composer. March 16 85 Nicholas Flagelo, composer. March 18 66 Ephraim Lewis, soul and R&B singer. March 26 22 Dan Hartman, singer. March 23 42 Donald Swan, pianist, composer and entertainer. April 5 70 Roland Greenberg, Norwegian jazz trumpeter. 73 Kurt Cobain, singer and guitarist. 27 April 7 Lee Brillo, British R&B singer. April 19 41 Larry Davis, blues singer and guitarist. May 23 57 Joe Pass, jazz guitarist. May 25 65 Eric Gale, jazz guitarist. May 26 55 Sonny Sharrock, jazz guitarist. May 27 53 Red Rodney, bop trumpeter. May 29 66 Oliver Jackson, jazz drummer. May 31 61 Hervé Nelly, operatic soprano. June 4 85 Earl Warren, saxophonist. June 11 79 Robert Biedel, composer. June 14 68 Henry Mancini, composer. June 15 70 Manos Hadidakis, composer. June 16 68 Chris Pfaff, bass guitarist. June 27 25 Ken Vassie, songwriter, performer, co-lead singer and guitarist of the first edition 1969 72 50 DJ Train, producer. June 29 Kurtich Horn, conductor. July 2 85 Marion Williams, gospel singer. July 31 66 Anne Shelton, British singer. August 6 70 Domenico Modigno, Italian singer and songwriter. September 2 66 Roy Castle, musician and all-round entertainer. September 3 62 Major Lance, R&B singer. September 6 55 Nicky Hopkins, session musician, keyboardist. 50 Max Kaminsky, jazz trumpeter and band leader. 85 September 7 Eric Crozier, librettist. September 13 79 John Stevens, jazz musician. September 20 Jules Stein, songwriter. September 24 88 Hermes Allender, singer. September 29 40 Cheb Hasni, Algerian Raj musician. October 4 26 Danny Gatton, guitarist. October 19 49 Martha Ray, singer and comedian. October 22 88 Jimmy Miller, record producer. 52 Shlomo Karlage, Jewish songwriter. October 26 Wilbert Harrison, R&B singer, pianist, guitarist and harmonica player. October 27 65 Robert White, Motown session guitarist. October 31, 57, Lester Sill, Record Executive, November 4, 76 Fred Sonic Smith, MC5 Guitarist, November 7, 45 Shorty Rogers, Jazz Trumpeter, November 11, 70 Elizabeth McConchie, Composer, November 18, 87 Cab Calloway, Jazz and Scat Singer, November 28, 86 Vic Legley, Belgian violist and composer of French birth, December 8, 79 Antonio Carlos Jobim, bossa nova composer and songwriter, December 10, 67 Garnet Silk, reggae singer, 28. Awards. The following artists are inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame: John Lennon, Elton John, Grateful Dead, The Band, Bob Marley, Duane Eddy, Rod Stewart, and The Animals. Inductees of the GMA Gospel Music Hall of Fame include Tennessee Ernie Ford. Filmfare Awards Kumar Sanu Filmfare Best Male Playback Award, Filmfare Best Music Director Awards Rahul Dev Burman. Grammy Awards Grammy Awards of 1994. Country Music Association Awards Eurovision Song Contest Eurovision Song Contest 1994. Mercury Music Prize Elegant Slumming M People Wins. Juno Award Rascalz Juno Award Best Rap Album. Charts. KROQ KROQ Top 106.7 Countdown of 1994. Triple J Hottest 100 Triple J Hottest 100, 1994. See also, 1994 in music, record labels established in 1994. References